thing that I've learned from being in quarantine is that people, this is like being in jail, is what it is.
He has stepped down from royal duties with his reputation in ruin.
My actions this past weekend were pretty short-sighted.
I have to apologize to the community. You guys, I'm sorry we let you down. I'm sorry this happened.
Number 20, Lea Michele.
Why is everybody leaving?
Because this party blows.
In May 2020, Lea Michele tweeted her support for the Black Lives Matter movement, but the tweet became a lightning rod for controversy when her former Glee co-star, Samantha Ware, replied to the post. Ware said that Michele had insulted her, targeted her, and threatened to get Ware fired off the show.
I knew from day one when I attempted to introduce myself. There was nothing gradual about it. As soon as she decided that she didn't like me, it was very evident. It was after I did my first performance, that's when it started.
Shortly after these accusations became public, many other actors and actresses told their own stories about Michele's bad behavior on the hit musical series, as well as other productions. As the controversy continued, food delivery company HelloFresh severed their ties with Michele. The actress eventually issued an apology on Instagram for her past behavior, but in an interview with Variety shortly after the blow-up, Ware questioned whether Michele had truly learned from her mistakes. Number 19, Micah Stoffer.
Welcome back to my channel. Today, we are doing something kind of different.
Vlogger Micah Stoffer amassed a large YouTube following with her family-friendly videos. A mother of 4, Stoffer welcomed a 5th child into her family when they adopted this little boy, who we'll refer to as H to protect his privacy, from China. In 2017, the video where they took H home attracted over 5 million views.
Show me help. Yeah. Good job. Show me more. Yeah. Show me eat. Oh, you did good job.
The Stoffers didn't realize until later, however, that the child had autism. Although Stoffer described H as forever family, they decided to rehome him with those who could better accommodate his special needs. Stoffer came under fire on social media, with some speculating that she merely adopted the child for publicity. Stoffer denied these allegations, claiming that any money made from videos featuring him went towards his care. Stoffer acknowledged that she had been naive, foolish, and arrogant throughout the adoption. Number 18, Ryan Haywood.
Yeah, Ryan, please take a seat.
In 2011, Ryan Haywood landed a full-time gig with Rooster Teeth. Over the course of 9 years, he etched out a prominent place at the video production company, especially within the gameplay division, Achievement Hunter. It was game over for Haywood in 2020, however, as he faced allegations of misconduct and sending photos of himself to Tessa Graves, an underage fan.
I went into this relationship, well, fully knowing that I was lying to him and that he had a wife and children.
He supposedly thought Graves was 18 at the time when she was actually 17. Shortly after word got out, Haywood tweeted, quote, "I made mistakes and will be leaving RT to focus on rebuilding my family and life." Adam Kovic, another Rooster Teeth employee who had explicit photographs leaked, was asked to leave around the same time as well.
I have to apologize to the community. You guys, I'm sorry we let you down. I'm sorry this happened.
Number 17, Victoria Fuller. Victoria Fuller rose to mainstream attention in 2020 as the 3rd place contestant on The Bachelor season 24.
What relationship did she say that I break up in?
She didn't give me details.
After winning a group date challenge, Fuller was set to appear on the cover of a digital Cosmopolitan issue. The magazine pulled the cover upon learning that Fuller had modeled clothing with the tagline WLM. The same business also sold apparel with the slogan White Lives Matter, reportedly referencing white marlin, which are classed as vulnerable.
You know, obviously during that moment too, I knew nothing about that. None of us did.
Cosmopolitan saw Fuller's involvement as wildly inappropriate. Quote, "Unequivocally, the White Lives Matter movement does not reflect the values of the Cosmo brand," wrote editor-in-chief Jessica Pelz, who expressed support for Black Lives Matter. Fuller apologized for her actions, writing, quote, "It was never my intention to add fuel to the racial fire in this country." Number 16, Doja Cat. Shortly after Doja Cat's single Say So trended up to the top of the charts in May 2020, hashtag Doja Cat is over party started trending on Twitter. The hashtag picked up traction after rumors and questionable videos suggested that Doja Cat made appearances in racist chat rooms. Twitter users also alleged that the title of her Din Do Nuffin song was a racist reference meant to mock African Americans who were mistreated by police.
If you're a true fan of me, if you're young, all of my young fans, you know, people who look up to me, my behavior isn't something that always needs to be followed. I'm not perfect.
While Doja Cat apologized for using the term, she said it was never meant to reference current events. She also denied taking part in any inappropriate conversations or behavior. Number 15, Terry Crews. In addition to bringing the laughs on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Terry Crews has used his platform to fight against discrimination and abuse. It thus came as a surprise when Crews didn't rush to the defense of his America's Got Talent co-star Gabrielle Union. Union exited the talent competition show after judging for one season, describing the workplace environment as toxic and racist. She expressed further disappointment that Crews, the host of AGT, did not back her up. Crews claimed that Union's experience on AGT wasn't the same as his own.
That was never my experience on America's Got Talent. In fact, it was the most diverse place I have ever been in my 20 years of entertainment.
However, he has repeatedly apologized to her on Twitter, writing, quote, "It was never my intention to invalidate your experience, but that is what I did." Regardless, Union and many others still feel Crews could have done more.
Why is it not instilled in him to protect this woman? She protected him when he was in another adverse situation. She put her voice out there.
Number 14, Hartley Sawyer. Season 7 of Team Flash will certainly look different from the past two. Hartley Sawyer played the stretchy superhero in seasons 4 through 6 of The Flash, but before he put on the mask, the actor joked about multiple taboo subjects on Twitter.
Other tweets featured homophobic language and were degrading towards women.
When these tweets re-emerged in 2020, Sawyer was fired from his role on The Flash.
People like me are just trying to get from one bill to the next. I wouldn't have to be living like that if you hadn't cost me my job. You got yourself fired!
After he apologized for his actions, both his former showrunner Eric Wallace and co-star Grant Gustin expressed their anger and disappointment at his distasteful tweets.
And then, one night, it's gonna dawn on you that you did the wrong thing.
Number 13, Lana Del Rey. Singer Lana Del Rey felt her songs were constantly being criticized for, quote, glamorizing abuse. So in May 2020, she took to Instagram to defend her works. Del Rey started the post by claiming artists like Nicki Minaj, Beyoncé, Cardi B, and more were able to sing about sexuality without being called out. Fans felt Del Rey needlessly criticized her fellow female artists, while ignoring the fact that they have received backlash in the past. They also felt like she was specifically targeting women of color in her complaint. Unlike other celebrities, Del Rey skipped the apologies and started defending herself against angry fans.
The culture is super sick right now, and the fact that they want to turn my posts, my advocacy for fragility into a race war, it's really bad.
Although her Instagram post was meant to reduce criticism coming her way, she may have drawn more critics against her. Number 12, Sia. There's no denying Maddie Ziegler's a talented young dancer. She's more than demonstrated this in Sia's music videos. Considering their successful collaborations, it's not surprising that the singer-songwriter turned director would want to work with Ziegler on other projects. In 2015, Sia announced Ziegler would star in a project she was co-writing, directing, and producing called Music. Little was known about it until a 2020 trailer dropped.
There's the magical little girl, your sister. All she's got now is you.
The musical drama revolves around Ziegler playing a teenage girl with autism, even though she isn't autistic. Heavy and immediate online backlash ensued, against which Sia attempted to defend herself. However, one tweet where she basically calls someone claiming to be autistic a bad actor, and her seeming refusal to apologize, have essentially left her career up in the air. Number 11, Sherry Pie. Born Joey Guglielmelli, Sherry Pie was a contestant on season 12 of RuPaul's Drag Race.
I would say that my drag style is like classic camp and a little glamour.
Although she ultimately placed 4th and won 2 challenges, Sherry Pie was disqualified before the season even finished airing. Ben Shimkus, who attended SUNY Cortland with Sherry, accused her of catfishing him back in the day. Allegedly posing as a casting director named Allison Mossy, Sherry had Shimkus perform improper acts on video for a fake audition. After Shimkus shared his story on Facebook, 4 additional men spoke out against Sherry with similar accounts. Sherry would apologize on social media for the trauma and pain she caused, but that wasn't enough to get her invited back for the show's finale or reunion. Number 10, Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson. YouTube sensations Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson are known for their controversial behavior and feuds, but 2020 took things to a whole new level.
Like how bad? Really bad. I'll show you before and after later.
Controversial content from both creators resurfaced that year, including screenshots of an old Jeffree Star Cosmetics website featuring hateful imagery, as well as old Shane Dawson videos with offensive material. Dawson was also called out by Jada and Jaden Smith for making inappropriate sexual remarks about Willow Smith when she was only 11 years old.
Jada tweeting, quote, "To Shane Dawson, I'm done with the excuses." Jaden tweeted a series of red-faced cursing emojis, writing, "I'm screaming at the top of my lungs."
As a result, Shane's YouTube channel was demonetized and he lost other business deals, while Jeffree remained silent. If the past has taught us anything, however, it's that this Dramageddon is far from over.
I'm ready to own up to this stuff, and I'm ready to hopefully show you guys that it's okay to admit when you're wrong. It's okay to be upset at your past self for making mistakes, but also it's okay if people don't want to accept your apology.
Number 9. Jeffree Toobin. If we ever did a list of awkward Zoom calls, Jeffree Toobin would likely come in first. This lawyer-turned-writer is best known for his coverage of the O.J. Simpson trial.
I thought then, and I think now, O.J. was completely guilty.
He's written numerous pieces for The New Yorker since 1993, but his 27 years with the magazine came to an end in 2020. Toobin was let go after accidentally exposing himself on a Zoom call with The New Yorker and WNYC. During the video call, Toobin, well, let's just say that he wasn't master of his domain. Apologizing to his wife, family, friends, and coworkers in a statement, Toobin said that he, quote, "made an embarrassingly stupid mistake believing he was off camera." Following an investigation, Toobin announced on Twitter that he'd been fired.
Why, George? Why? I said because it's there.
Number 8. Ice Cube. Ice Cube's history of anti-Semitic statements can be traced back to 1991's No Vaseline. It was in 2020, however, that the rapper's controversial accusations really landed him in hot water. On Twitter, Ice Cube shared a series of images and conspiracy theories that defamed people of the Jewish faith. An especially distasteful photo depicted anti-Semitic caricatures playing Monopoly on top of black people. Another referenced the black cube of Saturn, which can be interpreted in several deeply offensive ways. Although Ice Cube says he's not anti-anybody, he stands by his comments, stating, quote, "I believe in actual facts and I stand on the truth alone." Aside from damaging his own career, Ice Cube's claims have added to the growing tire fire of misinformation online. Number 7. 4 members of the Vanderpump Rules cast. Bravo's Vanderpump Rules reality show may have set the record for the most cast members fired in 2020. Max Boyens lost his job after screenshots of various racist tweets emerged. Brett Caprioni was dropped for repeatedly dropping racial slurs in his tweets. But Stassi Schroeder and Kristen Dout's actions may have been the most dangerous.
A Bravo spokesperson confirmed to Variety that the 2 cast members, who have been a part of the show since its first season, would not be returning.
In 2020, a story re-emerged of the incident where they called the police on their African-American co-star Faith Stowers for a crime she didn't commit.
It was just funny because they thought it was me because it was a black woman with a weave. So they just assumed it would be me.
Although all 4 of the fired reality stars apologized, neither the network nor the fans seemed ready to forgive them. Between the bad press and the loss of so many cast members, some fans are ready for Bravo to cancel Vanderpump Rules altogether. Number 6. Ellen DeGeneres. The voice behind Finding Nemo's Dory can't seem to stop swimming into controversy in 2020.
When life gets you down, you know what you gotta do?
I don't want to know what you gotta do.
Just keep swimming, just keep swimming.
When Ellen joked that quarantining herself in her mansion was like being in jail, she was called out for not recognizing her privilege.
One thing that I've learned from being in quarantine is that people, this is like being in jail, is what it is.
Shortly after she made this joke, numerous people shared stories about Ellen being mean and disrespectful to her guests and staff. But the biggest controversy revolved around her show's production.
I get to come to work every single day with people who make me laugh. I love everybody I work with.
Several members of her television crew had their pay reduced and saw their roles replaced by freelancers when Ellen's show moved to a virtual format. Amidst all the controversy, Ellen won a Daytime Emmy Award for the Best Daytime Talk Show in 2020. But even so, with some, her reputation has taken a hit. Number 5. Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Divorcing in 2017, Amber Heard and Johnny Depp have both accused each other of abuse. A 2018 article that described Depp as a wife-beater resulted in a lawsuit against the Sun newspaper. Depp ultimately lost the lawsuit in 2020, with the court ruling, quote, "The great majority of alleged assaults of Ms. Heard by Mr. Depp have been proved to the civil standard." Shortly after, it was announced that Depp would be replaced as Gellert Grindelwald in future Fantastic Beasts films. Heard has received backlash as well, with an online petition calling for her to be removed from the Aquaman sequel.
And how do you propose we do that?
Despite massive public scrutiny, Heard is set to return as Mera, although federal prosecutor Mima Ranmani believes Depp's career may never recover. Number 4, Chris D'Elia. During his tenure on Netflix's You, Chris D'Elia played a predatory comedian.
Well, I never pitch without at least one scotch in me for luck, so in your case, what do you want, juice?
Yeah, I'll take a watermelon.
Okay.
In 2020, a number of Twitter users claimed that Art may have imitated his real-life behavior. Multiple women accused D'Elia of inappropriate behavior while they were underage. While D'Elia has strongly denied all the accusations against him, he also apologized for how he's behaved with his lifestyle.
That's my fault. I own it. I've been reflecting on this for some time now, and I promise I will continue to do better.
Although he's yet to be charged with a crime as of early July 2020, he's still faced consequences. D'Elia was fired from his talent agency, had his comedy special removed from Comedy Central, and had his episode of Workaholics taken off multiple streaming services. Number 3, Tory Lanez. In July 2010, Tory Lanez was arrested and charged with carrying a concealed weapon in his car. Following initial reports that she cut her foot on glass, fellow rapper Megan Thee Stallion claimed that she was shot by Lanez and needed surgery. Stallion stated, quote, "I didn't tell the police what happened immediately right there because I didn't want to die." Lanez responded to these accusations with his 5th studio album Daystar, which came out less than 2 months later. Many of the songs addressed the alleged shooting, with Lanez claiming that Stallion tried to frame him.
Yes, this Tory shot me. You shot me. And you got your publicists and your people going to these blogs.
He's since been charged with multiple felony counts and been ordered to surrender any guns he owns. Number 2, Prince Andrew. If there's one person you don't want to be associated with these days, it's the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. During an interview on BBC's Newsnight in 2019, Prince Andrew, Duke of York, looked back on his longtime friendship with Epstein. Andrew also denied having intercourse with sex trafficking victim Virginia Roberts in 2001 when she was 17. The interview was generally met with a negative reception from the press, the public, and Buckingham Palace. Later that year, Queen Elizabeth II approved of the decision to have her son, quote, "step back from public duties for the foreseeable future." In May 2020, news broke that Andrew would permanently resign, and that the royal family had no plans to review his place in the monarchy. Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are a few dishonorable mentions. Vanessa Hudgens, disturbing coronavirus comments.
Yeah, people are gonna die. It's just terrible, but like, inevitable? I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this right now.
Abby Lee Miller, allegations of toxic, biased behavior.
She deserves to be on the pyramid. She was in the group dance. She deserves nothing. Don't have an attitude that you are entitled in this world. You are not.
Peter Hunziker, racist, sexist Instagram post. Dee Gwynn, tweets about Black Lives Matter.
They have severed ties with her. While the season will air as planned, the show strongly condemns systematic racism and stands with those raising their voices against injustices.
Morgan Wallen, he may have owned up to it, but breaching COVID protocols is no laughing matter.
That's right, that's right. You see, I am you from the future, and I came back here to stop you from partying tonight. Why? Well, trust me, somebody's gonna post a video of you ignoring COVID protocols. The whole internet's gonna freak out.
Number 1, J.K. Rowling. A series of statements made by Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling in June 2020 had some fans calling her Voldemort, or more specifically a TERF, which stands for Trans Exclusionary Radical Feminist. Following up her earlier Twitter history on the subject of transgender women, she released an online essay explaining her views.
She's now written an essay on her blog addressing the accusations and saying her opinions stem from her own experience with domestic violence. That's why she's been pushed to advocate for women's rights, she says.
Although Rowling's post discussed many topics, her opinions on biology and gender, as well as concerns with people who identify as women using female bathrooms and spaces, drew the most criticism.
I'm sure there used to be a word for those people. Someone help me out. Wumbin, Wimpund, Wumud, she wrote.
The author's statements inspired Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, Stephen King, and many other celebrities to voice their support of trans people.
I am deeply sorry for the pain these comments have caused you.
Her words also caused multiple authors to resign from the same literary agency as her.